Hey guys, it's Daniel from Needless Pounds, and we're here for week 3 of Spreadsheet Spring Training, and we're going to talk about analyzing data. In the first week, I showed you how to collect data in a spreadsheet, and we're using Google Spreadsheets, although you could also do this in Microsoft Excel. Uh, to remind you how to get back to your spreadsheet, if you just go to gmail.com, log in, and at the top of your screen, click on the word Drive. It should take you back to your Google Drive. And in your documents list, you should see the spreadsheets and other documents you've created. So I'm going to open my weekly weights spreadsheet. And this is the spreadsheet we made last time. And we inserted a chart. And looks like we're doing a pretty good job. We had a plateau there for a little bit. Here's one thing I want to show you how to do. At the bottom, where it says Sheet 1, let's rename this by clicking Rename. And I'm going to call this Data. You could probably find a better name for it. But whatever you decide to call it, just say OK. And now, click down here and say Duplicate. So we're going to have a copy of this just to mess with so that we don't break our original. So these tabs across the bottom let you switch between screens, and right now they're copies of each other. So on my copy of, I'm going to maybe delete this chart here, and I'm going to change what this is. So I'm highlighting this and deleting that, or well, you know, I can just add on to and say I want to have a weekly change column. And so this, remember, we have the paintbrush, which lets us change the way things are formatted. And this is the paintbrush, and I can say take this and format it like that. And we like the way that's formatted, so format the whole thing this format like that. Okay, so now we have another column. And I want to say, well, what's the weekly change from last week? So how would I figure that out? If I was using a calculator by hand for each week, I would say like 190 pounds, 190.2. How would I compare that to the previous one? And I would take last week's weight and subtract off this week's weight, which would tell me the difference. So like, just to do it, to have done it, I would say 191.8 minus 190.2 tells me that this week I lost 1.6 pounds. And then the next week would be like 190.2 minus 187.6 would say the next week I lost 2.6 pounds. So we can use a spreadsheet just like a calculator to calculate these things. If you remember a long time ago, I told you that each one of these boxes has an intersection of a column with a letter on it and a row with a number on it. And so 190.2 is in the box, which is in column B and in row 3. So it actually has a name, and it's B3, kind of like in bingo. So every box in your spreadsheet has its own name, or own, it's called a cell reference for whatever reason. Well, you can, instead of just putting values in, you can push the equal sign and build what's called a formula, which is a mathematical expression. And it could be as easy as like 5 plus 5, 5 plus 5, and that's going to figure out to be 10. Or you can say like that box plus 100. Does that make sense? So I pushed equal sign, and I clicked on a box, and it pulled up its cell reference, and then I did some math, like plus 100. So that box plus 100 is 290.2. Well, that's not my weekly change. But what my weekly change is that box minus sign that box. So the weekly change for row 3 is the weekly weight for row 2 minus the weekly weight for row 3. When you push enter or click away, it's going to say, aha, there's your change. For some reason, Google Spreadsheets are a little weird in the way they round off, so you can just highlight these things, and where it says numbers up here, you can say, give me custom decimals, and I just want it down to 1 decimal place. 1.6 it is. Okay, so if you get bored, you can go say, okay, well, this week is that week minus that week. And this week is that week minus that week. Done. But there's a quicker way. You can actually say the formula that's in this box. If you grab the handlebar with the skinny black crosshair there, just drag that formula down and let go. It carries the formula all the way down in your spreadsheet. So let me back up and do that again. So if we just have the one formula, and you can always click on a cell and you can see what the formula is. If you move your mouse so that it's on that handlebar in the corner and you get the black crosshair, you just drag that down and let go. Then it's going to use that formula for each one of the cells. So if I hover over this one, you can see that it's B5 minus B6. So there's B5, there's B6. It's 185.1 minus 184.4, and 0.7 is the difference. And now, if I say June, I don't know, 16th, I weigh in at 180 or 177.7, you should see, as soon as I move my cursor out of that box, you should see this number update. Yeah, and I lost 9/10 of a pound. So I've set that formula up wicked. And the crazy man in me says, no, this has to be formatted just exactly like that. There we go. Okay, so this adopts the formula, it adopts the value. So one way we can analyze spreadsheets is through putting in formulas that are relations to other things. Another way that we can analyze spreadsheets or analyze data is like through averaging. So I can say, what's my average change for the past 4 weeks? So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks. I want to equal the average, and I just type the word average, and it shows me ways I can do averages, but that's like bonus round stuff. There's easier ways to do that. I click in a box where I want to put a formula, and then I click this weird funky E, which is called sigma, and then I can pull up average. And now it just says average what? And I can just drag over and say I want to average those. And I've highlighted a region. And so now this will find the average of that. So as of May the 12th, my 4-week running average would be 1.85 pounds. Click the box. I'm always bad at this. Click the box, click the paintbrush, click the new box. There you go. And so I can drag this formula down as well. Except it gets a little weird down here because it starts calculating in the 177. So we'll delete these. But yeah, up to this point, so this box is figuring the average of those 4. This box is figuring the average of those 4, and so on. And as I said, you can highlight and say, give me some custom decimals, and give me just 1 decimal point, because anything more than that, I go crazy. So this is showing how my weight loss is averaging over a 4-week period. And so I'm averaging between 1 and 2 pounds per week. Pretty steady. Even on this week that I had a plateau and I only lost 0.2 pounds, my 4-week average was looking pretty good. And even on this week that I lost 2.3, my 4-week average was still looking pretty good. So when you zoom out and take the big picture, it's easier to see the progress you're making and to not panic so much. I love data analysis with spreadsheets. It is insane the kinds of things that I did with my weight tracker. If you've downloaded my weight tracker, you know I calculate my BMI each week. I calculate the pounds lost each week. I calculate a bunch of stuff. And I even have weight trackers for my weight trackers, I'm not going to lie. But this is pretty simple to do. And this is our 3rd week of 4. If you have any questions about this, I really am a spreadsheet nerd. I'm a data nerd. I'm happy to answer the questions you have. And you can either send those to me as YouTube replies or as comments on the YouTube videos. You can email me directly, needlesspounds@gmail.com or Daniel@needlesspounds. Or you can go to the blog post where this video is and you can comment in the blog post. So I want to share this tool with you in hopes that it'll help you lose weight or maintain your weight or manage your weight. And if you have any questions, just contact me. We have one more week of spring training coming up, and we're going to talk about how to share and publish and get this stuff out to the world. If you're doing a great job, you want to share it, I'll show you how to do that next week, and we'll talk about how to access these things on your mobile phone. So when you're standing at the scale, you don't have to go find a computer and boot up a laptop or open an iPad. You can just open your phone and use an app. There's an app for that. Okay, so talk to you next week. Good luck collecting your data, and do a good job analyzing your data, and good luck with your goals.